When was the last time that you had a racist thought, and what was it?
I think I don't remember the specific situation, but I think it was one of those things where I was like walking outside by myself, like to my car or something, and I saw like a black person standing somewhere, and like kind of instinctively, I just got a little nervous about it and was like just watching to
Mm-hmm.
see like what he was doing. Then I was like, wow, I was very conscious of the racism behind that thought. Um,
Okay. So I think that most white people, you and I are both white, I think that most white people have had that thought before. I've had that thought before. I'm going to give an example of a kind of similar experience that I had with somebody that I really cared about. I was in the dining court in college with my, at the time, girlfriend. And the dining courts where I went to school, you get your trays and it's buffet style. You go to all the different stations and you get whatever you want, and then you all meet up back at the table. So we swipe in, we get our trays, and we go our separate ways to get our food. She gets something healthy, I get French fries and pizza, because guy in college. And when I'm coming back to the table, I see across the dining court, while she's been getting her stuff, she has stopped and started talking to a guy that I've never seen before. And when I see him say something and her start to laugh, and ooh, do I hate seeing that. There's nothing like seeing your girlfriend laugh at another guy's jokes. Ooh, that really gets my goat when I see it. So she comes back to the table after talking to this guy, and I don't address what I saw or my feelings about it. I just sit there eating my French fries and stewing. Like this bullshit. It's just I can't believe. Not saying like I can't believe she would do this, but just being upset and stewing in that emotion. And because I've had a lot of dysfunctional attempts at relationships in the past, and I had now a good one that I wanted to go well. Part of me was like, you know what? I really should like analyze this feeling and figure it out so that I'm not just moping this entire dinner and beyond. So I started to think about it. Okay, why did seeing her laugh make me upset? Okay, well, it's really because she's my girlfriend and we have a special relationship, and part of that is that I make her laugh. That's one of the reasons why she became attracted to me. It's one of the foundations of us getting together. So when I see that another guy can make her laugh like that, it makes me feel replaceable. Okay, what does that mean? Does that mean that she is at fault for laughing at this guy's jokes? No. I mean, you laugh at somebody's jokes because they're funny. Okay, is she wrong for talking to some other guy? No, that's ridiculous. I mean, what kind of world we be living in if your partner could keep you from interacting with somebody of the opposite sex lest they get jealous?
Side note, I knew someone who was in that kind of relationship in high school.
Okay, so did she do anything wrong whatsoever? No. This feeling, I understand where it comes from, but it doesn't indicate any wrongdoing on her part. Okay, so where do we go from here? Well, I'm probably just being insecure, and I really need to just move on and acknowledge that this feeling is coming from a place of insecurity and is not coming from her wrongdoing, and not lash out at her or try to punish her for the way that I'm feeling, because I'm responsible for this feeling. It only comes from me, not from anything that she's doing, and I need to move on. And after going through this process, we got home that night after eating, and I explained to her that that I saw this, that I felt this way, and that I thought about, and that this is what I think about it. You didn't do anything wrong. I'm sorry for moping around. And she ended up saying, that guy's actually gay.
Uh
She
huh.
told me that the guy was gay. And I hate to say this, but I immediately felt better.
Uh huh.
I had that feeling because I was insecure. But I think that people have this, since like people get told from a very young age, like you should go with your instincts, right?
Mhm.
My instincts told me that my girlfriend laughing at this guy's jokes was a threat to me. Okay? If I went with my instincts, I would have had a lot less fun that night and through the rest of the relationship, because I would have been very insecure, and B, I might have lashed out and hurt somebody or restricted somebody's liberty unjustly. my instincts shouldn't have been listened to in that circumstance. The voices in my head, there are many voices in your head. There's the voice of your pride, there's the voice of your fear, there's the voice of, your conscience. There's all sorts of voices in your head, and some of them should be listened to and some of them shouldn't be listened to. Some of them are bringing things to your attention that you wouldn't have noticed otherwise, and some things are just sabotaging you. They're saying that you're not good enough, or they're saying that you can't trust this person when there's no information that tells you so. We shouldn't have this protocol where we automatically listen to our instincts. We should treat every idea that pops into our head with some scrutiny and say, does the actual information back this up? Some of them will not come from a place of accuracy. They'll come from some place of insecurity or anxiety or fear or some other kind of emotion. And the only thing to do is to say, I understand where that comes from, but it's better for liberty and happiness to just ignore that thought rather than act on it.
Mm-hmm.
So you walking across a parking lot and seeing some black person, and a voice in your head tells you, this person, you need to be suspicious of this person because you don't know what they might do, and they're more likely to end up hurting you in some way than a normal person, a real person. That's the kind of thought that you can think about for 2 seconds and trace it back and say, oh, I know why I'm feeling this way. Because I'm a human, and humans, even from the time that they're babies, show preference for people of the same skin color as them. They'll be more accepting of violence done to a doll with a different skin color than violence done to a doll of the same skin color. There's a general fear of the darkness, which is related to fear of the other, that we show more kindness and more favorability to things that are more familiar to us. So people being visually different but also culturally different makes me more likely to view them with inherent skepticism than somebody who's just like me. And it's probably from those places that I have this voice in my head telling me that this person can't be trusted. And the only thing to do is recognize where that voice is coming from and say, you know what, I care about liberty and happiness, so that voice.